is true success in life, when you become part of somebody else's testimony. I want to talk to you about taking your business and your life to the next level. Success in business and success in life is greatly dependent upon our ability to influence others in a positive way.
Hey, everybody, and welcome to another episode of The Ability to Influence. I am so excited about today's guest. This dude is a digital influencer, an entrepreneur. He is an absolute rock star when it comes to marketing, video. He is a speaker, public speaker, and he is the owner of Rhino Media. Man, please help me welcome Ryan Owens, everybody.
Hey, what's going on? You know what? I put creative in there because it's the only website I could get, and it's all about creative. Rhino Media. I need to figure out how to just do that. It's Rhino Media from here on out.
Rhino Media. All right. Rhino Creative, Rhino Media. Listen, here's the deal. The reality is that you're a rhino, bro. Like when it comes to marketing, and digital media, you are an absolute rhino, bro. And so, and one of the things I failed to mention in your intro, man, is that you're a good friend. You know, you and I have, we've done a lot of things together. You've emceed my events. We've done some events together. You've been a speaker at my events. You and I really just kind of, get together from time to time and just bounce ideas off each other, encourage each other. We have spiritual conversations. We have, personal conversations about life. And so you're just an amazing individual, man. I give it back to you. I'm proud of you. It's funny because a few years ago, I believe it was me, you were doing marketing for maybe a title company, and you were doing such a phenomenal job. And I was like, hey, bro, I was like, when is Ryan going to go do his own thing? Like, when is Ryan going to just expand and do his own thing? And you're like, oh man, it's on the forefront, of my mind. And here you are, a couple of years later, bro, you took that plunge, you're doing it, man. And so I'm super proud of you, bro.
You know what? I thought about you, one of the first people I thought about, because every time we had gotten together, you're like, basically, what's the holdup? What you waiting on, brother? It's time to leap out there. And you know what? A salary can be a real, sedative to the pain that comes from not doing your own thing. So that salary can really get you locked in to forgoing your dreams. Salary can be a dream killer. It's great to pay your bills, but guess what? There's more to life. There's more out here for us. So I appreciate your encouragement.
More opportunity. It's funny, man. I just, I want to talk to you a little bit about speaking and video and all of that, but take everybody just on a really quick journey. Like how did you get into video? Let everybody know.
Fifth grade, my first stint in fifth grade. Mama held me back, so I had 2 fifth grades. But my second stint, I got to kiss Stephanie Medina at Camp Kern, so it was all worth it. But fifth grade, I made a science project with my friend Christian, and I got my grandfather's, sits on the side of your shoulder VHS tape, and I recorded this futuristic city, and it got so much attention. Like they brought the superintendent in. I mean, people were just being brought in to watch my video. So from that very moment, I knew like there's power in media creation. There's power in video. It was very apparent to me. They invited me to be the fifth, the school videographer. So moving forward, my grandfather still had that camera out. It was a real big influence in my life because I like to get in front of the camera and, do whatever little Ryan was doing at that time. Fast forward to years later when I really got into the sales business. I'd always been in sales, whether it was grasshoppers, starting my own little, door-to-door lawn care business or selling, NFL football pencils out on recess, to selling shoes and upselling socks. I finally got into big boy sales, selling Chevrolets in Fairborn, Ohio, right on the corner of my little town that I was born in. And we had the sales manager. He was really, boisterous with his marketing, always on TV, and people were coming in, saying his catchphrase. It was "get in here," and people were getting in there again. See the power of video. So I had people at that time jumping out of car trunks and whatnot, and just making little mini commercials. So, you know what? The power of video has just been present for me for a long time and increasing my connection with people and getting people on board with what I'm doing. So that's a quick synopsis of
Yeah,
the
yeah.
journey.
Well, you're phenomenal at it, man. And creativity, I think, is one of the things that is the best way to describe the stuff that you're putting out there. I mean, obviously you got to get people's attention, man. There's a lot going on in social media. There's a lot to scroll through, and you got to get their attention. You got to get them to stop the scroll and actually push the button. And sometimes you got to do some crazy stuff to make that happen. How do you create your content? Like, I know there's a lot of people. Well, first, let's go back to this before we get into how you create your content. You know, you mentioned something, you loved being in front of the camera. And I know there's a lot of people out there right now that are really, really struggling with this, bro. And obviously, as a kid, you don't really care what you look like. Have you struggled a little bit with that since you've gotten older, or do you look in the camera and go, "Gosh, man, you were just so sexy"? I mean, how do you approach it, bro? Do you critique yourself? Do you give yourself a hard time?
I am my biggest critic. You know, my first video where I did it took a full day to create this little 30-second commercial for our dealership. And I had been eating the carbs at our delership. I mean, we cared about lunch break more than making sales at this dealership. So I had some weight on me. And you know what? I looked at that and I wasn't a big fan of the way that I was looking on camera. They said, you know, the camera adds 10 pounds, but I have always been my biggest critic on there. But what I found is that I'm not making videos for myself. So
Right.
it isn't for me to, it doesn't matter how I criticize it, but I've absolutely cared about how I look, how I sound. I know what all of that feels like.
Yeah.
But with practice, you get to learn how to get over yourself.
Yeah.
You also can learn things like in psychology, the spotlight effect, where we overestimate highly how much people are thinking about us, laughing at us, and all of that. We overestimate. Think about your day yesterday. For me, I spent all day thinking about myself. That's the same with everyone else. And every
Right.
now and then, you got to jump in front of them and have the courage to just let it all hang out, have some fun.
Yeah.
I'm definitely a big critic of myself. For
Yeah.
sure.
So what are some tips, man, that you could give people that could help them, you know, overcome this fear? I mean, obviously, you know, I've got a bunch of coaching programs. I coach people, and, you know, in speaking, writing books, and doing all of these things, and getting their message out to the masses. And, you know, I'll be on a coaching call with a group of people, and I'll be like, "Hey, listen, you know, part of public speaking is getting on video. A big part of getting your message out to the masses is going to be on video." And I can just see their faces. I can just see their shoulders just kind of drop and sag. And I can see people rolling their eyes and shaking their heads. And they just, when it comes to video, man, there's just this fear. It's worse than even public speaking, I guess, because people can go back and watch and even critique themselves, what they look like, what their voice sounds like, all of that. How do you overcome that, bro? How do you help somebody overcome that?
Well, you gotta break the habit of being yourself. We relied on traditional marketing for our businesses for so long. It doesn't take any self-esteem to put an ad in the paper. It doesn't take any self-worth to put out something on a bus bench, or pass out a card, or whatever we use for traditional marketing. Right now, we have to actually break through this feeling that we have about ourselves, which we never had to do with traditional marketing. What we have to do is realize, number one, here's the one thing. Do you belong in your industry? Like, are you doing what you're supposed to be doing in the marketplace right now? What I find that we've really got to evaluate whether we're actually in the right industry, where we're selling the right product. If all those questions are answered, yes, I'm in the right industry, I have the right product, I'm the right person for the job. If all that's a yes, I think that we should really allow that to compel us, that now I have to do what 2023 is asking me to do and put myself out on camera. But you're not going to be great at first. But here's the best part about that. Every single person that you look up to in video right now was not great at first. It is a rite of passage. You have to go through that. You have to feel awkward. If you're not feeling awkward, you're not doing it right. You're not doing it enough. Awkward is accelerated learning. If you're not feeling awkward, you are learning at a snail's pace. Okay. So you are holding yourself back. So really, you just have to bust through the awkward feeling of, number one, talking to a piece of glass and plastic. That's difficult. It's easier to talk to people than it is. So what I've suggested for people in classes in the past is print out somebody's face that you really have an ease of conversation with, print their face out and put it on the top or bottom of your camera and pretend that you're talking to that person.
Yeah.
There's a lot of work that involves transitioning from traditional marketing to content marketing now. You've got to come out of hiding. We need Steve Hoppers and Ryan Owenses and anybody in your sphere that can just help you alleviate the burden of breaking the habit of traditional marketing self. You got to feel awkward. It's a rite of passage.
Absolutely, man. I heard a really, really powerful statement a long time ago from one of the top internet marketers out there. And he said that, when you wake up and you start to see yourself as a professional marketer that does this every day, then your business is gonna skyrocket. When you start to see yourself as a professional marketer that does public speaking, or you're a professional marketer that does real estate, or you're a professional marketer that has a landscaping business. When you wake up every day and you start to see yourself as a professional marketer instead of a landscaper, then you're going to start to do the things that might be a little bit uncomfortable because you've got to do this marketing. And what a huge platform, bro. I mean, you've got thousands upon thousands of people that have the opportunity to hear your message, to see what you're doing on social media. And video is king. And if you're not doing video, then you're really missing the boat. Do you agree with that?
Absolutely. And you've got to give your chance to have some wins, because some of those wins, either someone saying, hey, I saw your video, or hey, I'm calling off of your video, or having a new lead come in because of that video, or just having those amount of views that you're looking for. You got to have some wins, but you got to take enough swings at the bat to get those, and you'll start to have those encouragement. The algorithm really favors consistency.
That was going to be my next thing, man.
It's huge.
The key is showing up. And this is something I have struggled with. I mean, I've got so much content. I know you've got a ton of content as well. And I literally just recently smacked myself around, and said, dude, what are you doing? Like, you got to start putting this content back out there. You got to start putting this content out there. And it's consistent. How consistent does it need to be, in your opinion?
Well, it needs to be without getting into the algorithms, because your viewers are not the arbitrators or the door openers to your content being seen. It's the algorithm. Right. Your audience in the marketplace is not the decider of what gets seen. The algorithm is. So we've got to have a little bit of understanding of what each algorithm, which is the code, the gatekeeper from content creators to the mass audiences, and what do they want? So we have just to, and you mentioned old content that you have. I want to encourage you, and everyone else to know that, hey, I think I got to make a new video all the time. I want you to have, as first of all, the mindset that Steve just had. I'm a content creator / business owner / salesperson and all the other hats that you have. But repurpose content. Repurpose some content that you had in the past, months ago, a year ago, 2 years ago. Start cutting those up and finding an editor, finding a way to learn how to put those old back and make them new again, reshine them up and put them back out there. And you were asking about consistency, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you need to be consistent enough where you're not forgotten. There's 2 levels of obscurity I'll break down real quick. Number 1 is I don't know you, because you haven't made a video. You haven't even taken the first step for me to get to know you. So it's hard to do business, actually impossible, with people I don't know. I can't flow you if I don't know you. So the second level is obscurity. Level number 2 is I forgot about you. So the consistency really is just the key to not be forgotten about. Now, when it comes algorithmically, Instagram, for example, you want to put out a reel a day. And this can be very, very simple, but you want to put out a reel a day. Actually, just with 20 seconds, I'll tell you what Instagram wants. They want a reel or a main newsfeed piece of content a day. and 6 different stories. So that's just a quick behind the scenes. Hey, at the office. Hey, having this bagel. Hey,
Yeah.
team meeting. 2 in the morning, 2 in the afternoon, 2 in the evening. If you can do that, 1 reel a day and 6 pieces of content spread out throughout the day for stories, you're going to feed the algorithm and you're going to get more traction.
All right. So that brings me to the next thing, content. All right. So they've gotten past this. Oh my gosh, I look crazy on camera. Right. They've gotten past that. All right. We've moved on. My voice is not as bad as I think it is. Okay. Now the big roadblock for most people is, what the heck do I get on there and talk about? Like, what is my video going to be about? They get so blocked by this content creation aspect of it. And I tell people all the time, I'm like, listen, your whole life is content. Like, your experiences, the good, the bad, the ugly, everything you've done, everything you've overcome, everything you've learned, it's all content. It's all content. And so you've got a plethora of it. What do you say when it comes to content, and how people should be approaching that?
Well, as far as content goes, we need to, first of all, take a look at what are our frequently asked questions in our business. If you're a business person, you've got questions that are asked by your clients each and every single transaction. We should start there. So what do you deal with on a weekly, monthly basis? And that right there is your first batch of content. Yeah. And then I will tell you, here's 2 other ways to figure out what else to talk about. Go onto the platforms that you want to be a part of, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. Go to the search bar, type in your industry, look at the reels and the content that's being created that's getting a lot of views. Success leaves clues. So take a look at what's being made about your industry. Take note of that and repurpose, R&D, rip off and duplicate.
Yeah.
Permission that the internet is made for you to get inspired, or even take that full idea and make it your own.
Yeah.
Third way is something like answerthepublic.com. You can actually get 300, almost 400 ideas of what clients and marketplace people are searching for right now in Google at answerthepublic.com. Type in 2 to 3 keywords, real estate, for example, and it's going to give you everything that people are asking for right now. Start making those videos today. So there's 3 simple ways. Right?
Oh yeah, absolutely. You know, it's funny. I always tell people, matter of fact, I just did a virtual event here recently last week, and it was about public speaking. And I was saying, you know, when it comes to what you're going to get up and talk about and your content of your speech, you know, we think that if we don't reinvent the wheel, if we don't say something that is so profound and so unique and so new, that nobody's going to want to hear it. And I brought up, you know, motivational speakers as an example, right? You look at the top motivational speakers in the world. None of them are saying anything that we don't already know. Matter of fact, they're really talking about some basic stuff. You know, it's about getting up every day and going after it and dreaming again and so on and so forth. And so what they're doing is they're telling us something that we already know, but what they're doing is they're actually reminding it of us, because we are so inundated with life and everything that's going on around us that sometimes we're moving so fast that we just forget about the basic stuff that can make such a difference in our lives. And so when we talk about content creation, yeah, you know, go look at what else is out there. You know, because it's already out there doesn't mean that you can't reduplicate it or say it again from your point of view. And the chances are is that your audience, the people that are watching you, they're not seeing the other stuff that's out there anyways. So you're bringing it to them new and fresh, and they're hearing it from you. And even though you didn't invent this information, they're hearing it and they're going, "Oh man, thank you so much for that." You know what I mean? Because you're encouraging them. Ryan, I found that the biggest seller right now out there, brother, is encouragement. Everybody needs it. Everybody wants it. Everybody's looking for it.
That's the one. And you know what? The greatest motivational, it's 2023. There is nothing new under the sun. I don't think some of you realize how you're in the future, babe. I mean, you are in the Jetsons future. You just haven't realized it yet. Everything's been done. Everything's been said. There is nothing that you can copy that hasn't been done 2,000, 3,000 years ago. Like, it's all old.
Yeah.
Let that be encouragement to you, because all these motivational speakers that I have listened to have been pattern interrupters. they have been able to interrupt my pattern of day-to-day living, and get me in just a moment and lock me in to remind me of the things that I needed to do to solve my problems. So that's what we're doing on social media is we are that temporary 30 to 45 second pattern interrupter. Day to day. Ryan's giving me great information. Back to my day to day. We got to interrupt our people's patterns and in front of their face just for a moment. Say, hey, it's me. I exist. I have something that can solve your problems. Call me quickly.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, and the reality too is now with AI, like there's nothing that you're going to reinvent anyways. There's nothing you're going to create that's brand new because you can just throw in a topic and AI is going to be way more eloquent and way more savvy with the answer than you are. But here's the deal: there's no relationship with that, you know, and that's, you know, it's funny. One of my mentors, Del Toro McNeil. Always watch his stuff, listen to his stuff. You know, he's just an amazing individual. And I heard him say one time that high tech will never, ever replace high touch. Let me say that again. High tech will never replace high touch. No matter how many automated systems are out there, the product is you. It's always going to be you. It's you that they're buying. It's you that they're not buying. So you got to take a look at what you're putting out there, what you're not putting out there. You know, if you're not where you want to be financially in your business, if you're not making the sales, you know, I'm gonna hit this caveat real quick, and I'm gonna turn it back over to you. You know, I did a sales boot camp a few years back, and it was called Coffees for Closers, and everybody came in because they wanted to get better at sales. And as I went around the room in this boot camp and I started asking people questions, I realized very, very quickly that they were all good at sales. They all knew their product. They all had a great product. They all had a great service. It was priced effectively, all of that. They knew how to explain it well. They knew how to sell. They knew how to overcome objections. Like, here's the one thing that they were lacking, and the one reason they weren't where they wanted to be in sales, because they weren't getting enough exposure. They weren't putting their opportunity or their message in front of enough people. They were limited on their leads. They were limited on their exposure. And so this whole sales seminar became a marketing boot camp on how to get more exposure and how to get your message in front of more people. And obviously, we're talking about video today. You're a video rock star. How true is that? If they want more sales, they got to get their message in front of more people.
Every great salesperson I've ever had the privilege of being poured into let me know that sales is a contact sport that requires persistence and to be showing up. They say 80% of success is showing up. They also say 90% of statistics are made up. Who cares? I'm working with it. You got to show up. And the great thing is now we can show up instead of one-to-one, which so many of us grew up on. Now we can do that one-to-one interaction because video mimics it better than anything other than one-to-one in-person contact. Now from 1 to thousands or millions even if you go viral. And let me touch on that virality for just a second because so many of us are looking at people with 1 million subscribers, 4 million subscribers, thinking that that's the metric that you need to be at. Never. Don't ever reach for that. You don't need that. You don't want that. It's not necessary for you to succeed higher than anyone else around you. You need a nice little group of 50 people that love and support you. You need 100 people out in your local marketplace. This idea of I have thousands or millions of followers. I know 14 million followers that are flat broke. I also know millionaires that have never made a video in their life. You're going to have a nice little sweet spot where you're going to be making a lot more money, have a lot more attention, and you've got a nice little following. You don't need 4 million followers.
Okay, that brings me to my next question, and we're going to close out with this one because I think this is super, super important. You know, obviously, there are people in business, they want to make money. They want to make sales. They, need to at some point deliver some form of call to action. They've got to get people in there. Like we can get out there all day long and we can provide value and provide value and provide value and provide value and provide value. And give it away and give it away and give it away and give it away and give it away. And if we never have a place that we're trying to take people to, if we never have a call to action at any point, then we're just getting on video and providing value to everybody every day. You know what it reminds me of when I first started speaking? I was so excited that God had revealed to me my purpose and what it was I was supposed to be doing. And I was out there speaking anywhere and everywhere, and I wasn't charging to do it. And although I was walking in my purpose and I was feeling joy, money's not everything, but it's right up there with oxygen, right? You need it. And so I had to take a step back and go, wait a second. Okay, I'm doing all this speaking, I'm inspiring and motivating people, but I got to make money at this too. And I think that goes the same for getting out and providing value on video. Is at some point you got to transition them. What are your thoughts on that when it comes to, when should somebody make a call to action? They've been providing value and they've been giving all this free information and lifting people up and encouraging people and inspiring people. When should they deliver a call to action of some sort?
Your encouragement, your journey, your overcoming of the things that you've been through in life, keep giving that out for free. But when it comes to business, so many, especially new business owners, are making a mistake of making all kinds of content marketing about all this value and giving everything away for free with never asking for the sale, never making a proposition or offer that requires a yes or no response. We need feedback from our audience. So you have to ask for feedback. So stop with the, hey, I'm going to tell you everything that you need to know. And just before I go ahead, I have to say this. There is nothing spiritual about being broke. Okay. So there is nothing
Hallelujah.
spiritual at all. Hallelujah, Brother Hopper. There's nothing spiritual about being broke. So if we want to get truly in the spirit and inspired, we've got to be able to understand that abundance is in our nature. So ask people to go to your website, to go to your landing page, to make a call, to come to this event. We want to have more CTAs at the end. And just a quick reference on how to make a video. Stop introducing yourself. This is not Ryan Owens at so-and-so, Rhino Creative Media. I'm really excited to jump on here today. I'm out. I don't care. Your name is at the bottom. Tell me what I need to know. Hook me in. Say, hey, this is what I help clients. I helped clients save $5,000 in 24 hours by doing this. And then I give them the meat and potatoes. And then I'm saying, hey, if you want to experience this, go to my link in the bio. You can sign up for this newsletter. Come to my event.
Great.
Call me today.
Great. Now I got to go take down the video I just posted on social media about 20 minutes ago, bro. Because I said, hey, y'all, it's Steve Hopper.
Hey, it's Steve Hopper, international speaker. You just can't anymore. It's not.
It's not necessary. Put a little lower third there at the bottom with my name and call it a day.
Call it a day.
Okay, bro. All right. Listen, I'm gonna take your advice, man. I'm gonna do it.
Hook 'em in.
No more. Hey, y'all, it's Steve Hopper. I'm gonna
Done.
Yeah. It's funny you say that though, but I watch E.T., Eric Thomas, #1 motivational speaker in the world. He opens every video by saying, hey, y'all, it's your boy E.T. You know what I mean?
Here's the difference. Why E.T.'s able to do that is because he paved the road and went viral.
Right.
He's #1 in the world. He has the privilege to make his own rules. Those of us who haven't got to E.T. level, we got to follow some different set of rules. And then we can get up there and be a rebel just like E.T.
It's funny that you say that because the tip that I gave in this video was a public speaking tip. And the tip that I gave in the video was, when you get up and speak, just immediately open with, a powerful statement and obviously what you're going to share. And, even in your 30-second commercials, if you're out there networking and networking events, you get up and you do your 30-second commercial, don't open with your name and the name of your business. You can mention that maybe later in your 30-second commercial, but, open with something else to get their attention. So it's funny that you say that about video as well. Yeah. So
use the word you. That is the most powerful word that you can use in the first few seconds of your video. Have you experienced this? You are going to be different at the end of this video. Yeah. You. Use you a lot.
Everybody wants to know what's in it for me, right?
100%.
What's in it for me? Hey, man, listen, I'm going to close this out here, but bro, you are an absolute. Where can everybody go to connect with you, man? We need to get everybody connected to you for sure.
Go to my Instagram at Ryan Robert Owens or Rhino Creative Media, where I'm going to be putting more of my portfolio. Find me on Facebook at Rhino Creative Media there as well, and on TikTok at Rhino Creative Media. Just find me. I look forward to having a conversation with you.
All right. Awesome. Y'all go connect with Ryan. Ryan, one more question to close us out, man. This is the Ability to Influence podcast. You are an influencer. What do you think is the key characteristic somebody needs to have if they want to become a person of influence in the marketplace?
You have to care. You have to care about the people that you're serving. You have to care about yourself enough to put yourself out there to be able to be attracted and have them attracted to you. You have to care about everything that you're doing. People don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. Focus on caring about the people and yourself.
Boom. Thanks, brother. I appreciate you. I love you, man. I'm always praying for you and your success. Everybody, thank you so much for tuning in to this Ability to Influence podcast session with my buddy Ryan Owens. God bless you all, and we will see you on the next one.
That is true success in life, when you become part of somebody else's testimony. I want to talk to you about taking your business and your life to the next level. Success in business and success in life is greatly dependent upon our ability to influence others in a positive way.